Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chain Out Podcast, episode 141, season 3. I am Daryl, but tonight we have a special treat for you. We're not joined by Jeremy, no, we're joined by former guest, former co-host, former ex-president, Tim Plamondon. How are you doing?
And Sexton superfan. Sexton Firebird superfan, yes. Yes, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me back here. I really appreciate you giving... I know you had to text several times and call me and then get a hold of my assistant and all that, right? But thank you.
It was a lot of organizing.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. I'm really happy to be back.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you back on the podcast. You remember the last time you were actually a guest on the podcast? I know you've been on recently.
Yeah, I did Around the Basket. So I did a couple other things. I have a vague recollection. We interviewed Chantal Badinsky.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that was way back in season 2.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. We're in season 3 now, 141. That was back in episode 71.
Yes.
So 70 episodes ago. And like you said, we were interviewing Chris Underwood, actually.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
Chris
right.
Underwood, her fiance.
That's right.
Caddy.
That's right.
Filmographer.
I got goggles on at the moment. I was like, oh my God, Chantal, but of course.
Yeah, he was the first guest on. Then we actually did have Chantal on for the Around the Basket.
That's right. Yeah.
We were trying something, back then we were trying to get guests on for Around the Basket as well.
Right.
Yeah, Chantal Badinsky and Chris Underwood. How do you remember that episode? Was it good?
Yeah, I remember having such a good time. I remember just being so blown away by how well they were not just in sync in the podcast, but in disc golf. Like they just were, and you could see it on the course too, that they're so in sync with the shots, with the course management and everything. And I remember feeling it, being in the chair, just being like, wow, they are not just in sync as like a sports partnership, but like as people.
Right.
And I remember sitting in the chair just being kind of blown away by just how in sync they were. So that was really cool. I remember that.
I remember you having a question for Chris, being like, because obviously, Kristen, your partner, plays disc golf. You've caddied for her.
Yes.
One of your questions was to him was, when you know that she can throw a shot, how do you, navigate that, telling her what shot that she should throw.
That's right.
Versus letting her decide, because she's obviously the one that's got to throw it.
She's got to throw it.
And arguably the better disc golfer.
Yes.
both females playing pro. So
and I'm sure he still knows what he's doing, and I still don't. so it's all good.
Yeah, it's always a learning process.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news for you.
Okay. Let's hear the good news.
The good news: you now hold the record for the most co-host appearances.
I'm very proud of that.
Sorry, Gabe. Gabe was, you were tied with Gabe. Remember Gabe?
I remember him. He's above me in the ratings, but not in the co-host count.
Exactly. Yeah, you're the longest running, or the second longest running co-host.
Yeah, I love it.
Of the show.
I'm happy for that.
The bad news is you used to be, the last time you had the record for the most amount of appearances on the Chain Out podcast.
Right.
But since then, Thomas Gilbert has been an A-tier winning machine.
Right.
He's been on the podcast way more times than you now.
And he still throws farther than me, and probably will for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm winning that battle. And I mean, Thomas is such a great guest and good dude. So listen, honor to be on the show at any point. And if I have to play second to Thomas, in this case, it's okay.
It's not a bad person.
It's not a bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, you've been the president of the Edmonton Disc Golf Association before.
Yep.
I currently am sitting as the vice president on the board. Tonight, we're excited to welcome Mr. Wally. It's funny, whenever I say his name, because I've heard you say it before, I always say Wally Ovalle, but then I've also heard you say Wally Ovalle.
Ovalle, correct.
Right.
Yes.
So is that actually how you pronounce it?
I believe so. And I've asked him before. I was like, Wally, is it Wally Ovalle or is it Waldo Ovalle? And he's like, it's Waldo Ovalle.
Okay.
So I try to honor that, right? Unless he's totally leading me astray, which is possible.
There you go. Yeah. Well, he's going to be on and he obviously was an ex-president as well.
Yeah, long-term president too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will be joining us on the podcast to have a decent chat all about EDGA and where it's come from and where it's going. He'll be joining us roughly in about 15 minutes.
Great.
Yeah.
And I mean, we gotta pay some bills here for a second.
We do.
We gotta pay some bills. We gotta give a PDGA shout out. come in, has provided lots of funds for the Chain Out podcast this year. We're trying to promote people joining the PDGA, and as a way of thanking them, the PDGA, for their support. And I know I've been a PDGA member for a while now. I think like 6 years. I wish I would have joined them a little bit earlier, actually, because my number would have been so much better.
Yeah.
And just the support they provide for tournaments, the support they provide for communities, for courses, and then for Chain Out podcast. So if you don't have a membership, we encourage you, please go get a membership. It helps with PDGA Canada, and it helps make the Chain Out podcast possible.
Perfect. Okay, tournament review time. So August started off strong. We had 11 events taking place last weekend in Canada. It was including 3 B tiers and 2 C tiers. We had events in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. Maritimes and Eastern Canada were representing this weekend. Tournaments included a doubles event, an NADGT tournament, a Circuit de Quebec. I'm getting better at that. An MVP Circuit Challenge, a Prodigy Birdie Derby, a 4x4 no need for speed event.
No need for speed.
Yeah.
So it's like a Berg tournament or something like that.
It must be
like a slow speed disc tournament. Okay,
that's
cool.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then there was also a Miss Mando Mayhem fundraiser as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. One event that took place this weekend was Yeet in Heat, C tier, out of La Fortune Park. Friend of the show and supporter, Andrea Michaud, was the tournament director for this one. Now, La Fortune, I think it's La Fortune. It might be French and La Fortune. I don't know.
La Fortune. La Fortune.
There you
Probably
go.
La Fortune.
Is out in the Hamilton area, and it's a local favorite course and a bit of a secret to some. Trent Michaud and Chris Brown have told us it's one of their favorites. It's located on an old campground.
Okay.
When the owner passed away, he had some stipulations on how the land could be used and helped ensure that the disc golf course was going to be there forever. So that's really good.
Really cool.
Yeah. Tournament had it all. It was a 1-day, 2-round C tier with $500 added cash. The players' packs included 2 discs and were over $75 in value. There were multiple shade and water stations. Believe it or not, they even had a Chain Out podcast playing at Tournament Central with stickers for players as well.
I mean, that's just the support from so far away.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's one of those things that'll never get old to me. Something that we just do here in Edmonton. There's 2 old guys.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, just continue. Yeah. Okay.
Beyond that, they cleaned up, they recycled, they left the park cleaner than when they arrived. Local mayor was on board as well, sponsors from local businesses, and they even had an article written in the newspaper about it as well. We have so many great TDs out there, Tim. I'm sure you'll agree. And if you ever need help on how to run a successful event, definitely reach out to Andrea or any of the other tournament directors. I'm sure they'll always be glad to give you a hand.
And shout out to Andrea specifically too. Like, she is everywhere doing everything all at once.
Right.
She's a tremendous ambassador of the game, and I think she has a lot of time for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Talking about being everywhere all the time. After this, she is now driving 1,300 kilometers this week to Missouri for a Flex C tier, which includes a foam and pool party. All these extra added things that get added onto disc golf.
Is so cool.
Yeah. Well, congrats to the MPO winner, James Atkinson, and FPO winner, Kat Johnson. Besides FPO, Tim.
Yes.
The tournament also had FA1,
yes,
FA40, FA2, FA3, and FA4 divisions with a total of 21 females participating.
Really great.
Yeah.
I mean, just fantastic to have that kind of turnout for the women. Like, that's such an area of growth for our sport, and to see that, like, not only 21 participants, but so many divisions available. Right. That's what's important.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. And Andrea is a great proponent of all that as well.
Yes.
So remember, if you have an event that you want us to shout out and want us to talk about, email chainoutpodcast@gmail.com or send us a message on our socials.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let's go to the pro news now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last week on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, we had the Ledgestone Open.
Yeah.
Have you taken in the Ledgestone Open? Maybe not in person, but have you spent much time watching Ledgestone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's such a great tournament.
I think Eureka is probably one of my favorite courses.
Yeah, Eureka is cool, and Northwood Black looks like I would probably be okay with never playing it. Like, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, they'll meet your idols.
Yeah. This is one of those big tournaments that has a pro pool and an amateur pool. The amateurs can get some pretty big player packs. And on the MPO side, Ganbart did not win this one. That is... I mean, the guy just wins everything.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
He is.
But did not win this one. It was Luke Taylor So that's a huge $15,000, and it was his biggest win since winning World Juniors in 2021.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool to see Luke win that one, and like it was pretty tight all the way down. On the FPO side, we had Evelina Salonen, who was the winner, and took it in a commanding 8-stroke lead, which is pretty significant. Again, I was keeping up with the FPOs a lot, and it was kind of back and forth, and then Evelina just pulled away. Yeah. It was really cool. She's so good tee to green. I mean, that's hard to beat.
Are you, so when you're looking at tournaments like this, the FPO or the pro tournaments, are you a DGN watcher? Are you a Jomez watcher? Or are you a PDGA Live watcher? All three?
Yeah, kind of all three, but mostly DGN. Okay. Kristen and I love to like wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and watch just a couple hours of DGN or however much.
Right.
I'll definitely keep an eye on the PDGA Live and Jomez when necessary, but I love DGN. I'm the full RIP subscriber for DGN, and I'm a big proponent of what they offer. Yeah. I think they've caught some criticism in the past. I honestly don't think it's fair because it's they just do a terrific job. So
considering how new everything is and then everything they've got to get set up.
And how technical it is to like offer a live stream of like a sport on such a small scale. Exactly. Like I think they do a terrific job. Yeah. So we did have a Canadian in the field with, well, a couple actually. We had Rebecca Dawn and Chantal Badinsky, who we spoke of. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Rebecca Dawn missed the cut to play in the finals by one position, finishing T44 with Jessica Gerthy. Chantal Badinsky hasn't played many pro events this year, but that didn't phase her as she finished T15 with Cynthia Klesberga and earned herself $925 cash.
Not bad.
Pretty good. Yeah. And the next up is the Discmania Challenge this weekend out in Iowa. Rebecca Dawn will be back representing Canada, so we'll make sure to cheer her on through some social media and follow her on PDGA Live. Absolutely. She's such an exciting player to watch, so tune in to see that.
Yeah. One of our questions for our giveaway, which I will be talking about pretty shortly here, was what is one FPO up-and-coming person that you should watch? And I kind of hinted at Rebecca Dawn. Yeah. I don't know, can we class her as an up-and-comer to watch? Because
I think so.
Winning Rookie of the Year, placing top
year?
10 so many... Yeah, last year, yeah.
Last year,
placing top 10 so many times this year, first full season on tour.
Yeah.
Is she an up-and-comer anymore?
I think so. I think you're an up-and-comer if you're probably like 23 and younger and have not won.
Okay.
Like, I think if you're in that kind of category.
Right.
Like, either. If you've won a tournament, I don't think you're up and coming.
Right.
I think you're there.
That's fair.
And I think if you're a bit younger, trying to make your way, I think that also kind of makes you an up-and-comer.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it kind of, it crosses over there.
Yeah, I like your thought process. Speaking of the giveaways, as I was, we got out this weekend, Jeremy and I, we went out to throw some ace runs for our Smith Lake Farm disc giveaway. We put a post out on social media. It's still out there. You can still throw some questions on there. Not going to let you know whether we hit an ace or not.
Yep.
But we did get out there. We filmed some content. We're going to be rolling those out shortly when I find the time to be able to edit these videos and put them out there. We will get out there. We'll let you know who won the disc when we hit the ace. Speaking of giveaways, we have this current disc to give away as well. Ooh. This is our Innova Wraith from Mike Biette, who probably you might have saw out at Nationals. He was out there. He gave Jeremy 2 discs. Ooh. He gave one to me and one for us to give away. So this is his company tax team. So Mike Biette, thanks for that.
Right.
We're giving away this Innova Wraith. I believe I took the Champion Eagle.
What I noticed something just quickly, anecdotally,
Sure.
I noticed in Grand Prairie being up there for Nationals was how involved a lot of the businesses were in the sponsorship, but also being there. There were a couple people who were not only sponsors, but players.
Oh, wow.
And you see like the buy-in, like there's businesses getting discs made and all that. Like I thought the buy-in from the community to support that event was unbelievable.
That's great. Yeah. I'm sure Dylan had a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So once we get this disc up on our socials, we'll let you know how to enter. It's going to be something along the lines of supporting the community, supporting the people that support us. Mike is on social media. His son, Drew Biette, plays MPO and Chain Out Podcast as well.
Excellent. Okay, can we pay for a couple more bills?
We got to keep the bill. Yeah,
we got to pay the. Yeah, we got to keep the lights on. So we want to give us a shout out to some of our sponsors here. Obviously, BR Disc Golf. Brendan's let us know that the new Latitude 64 bags are available, including the Kristen Lott and Isaac Robinson Core Pro E3 backpacks. So check out BR Disc Golf for that. BR Disc Golf, longtime sponsors of everything local. Thank you so much for everything. Disc Republic, Jason and the team have Eagle McMahon Autopilot putters in stock. They are the only place in Canada where you can get them. The numbers, there are 2, 3, 0, and 1.5. Jeremy's an MVP fan. Do you think the autopilot could knock his EV7 fives out of his bag?
I don't know. Jeremy does love his fives.
I don't like those things. I have a story. Taryn Kennedy lent me some when I literally forgot my putters at a River City Cup a few years ago.
Okay.
I don't think it was the putter's fault that I missed every putt, but I still blame them.
Right.
But so those autopilots are there, and Disc Republic, thank you so much for your support of the podcast.
EV7, they're a kind of a anomaly company because they just make putters.
Right. Yeah, that's all they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're ever going to get out of that or not.
Right.
But the people that putt with them love them.
That's what I hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So remember, when you're shopping with either of our sponsors, use the promo code CHAINOUT as it helps support us. And thank you to them. Thank you to you.
Absolutely. Well, after the episode, be sure to stick around. Head over to our Patreon. Sign up for our Patreon. Get a free link to join us for Around the Basket. If you want to chat, I don't know if we'll be chatting any more Nationals. We haven't spoke to you about Nationals, but you might have some things to weigh in on that.
I've got tons to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Shocker.
There's a reason why we asked you to be a co-host. Yeah.
Good at talking.
You can ask us questions. You get more involved over there on the Patreon. Please join us. Head over to patreon.com/chainout. I have a button for that. To support us, sign up for the free link. Join us for Around the Basket. Okay. Well, we were supposed to have Mr. Wally Ovalle on, but he has not joined yet. So
Wally, get in here, my man.
Yeah. Where are you, Wally?
Where are you, Wally?
So let's talk a bit about Nationals right now.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
How you mentioned about the businesses in the local community getting involved.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yes.
how was the event?
It was incredible.
When did you get up there?
So I got there Tuesday with a group. So myself, Kristen, Joe Henderson, her husband Cam, and Travis Bouchard. We got an Airbnb. Got there Tuesday. Just credit to Joe for her commitment to practice. Yeah. We got there and I was like, I think I'll just relax. And she was like, no, I'm gonna go play every course all the time. So she went out there, got practicing. Wednesday I practiced co-op and I practiced South Bear with Kristen. And that was a long day learning those courses for the first time. They're both big courses. I had the absolute pleasure of playing the gold tees from MA1 for MA1. Wow. So it was pretty challenging, especially that co-op course. It's just so demanding. Yeah. It was terrific. And then Thursday we did Champs vs. Chumps. I can't reveal how I did it at Champs vs. Chumps.
How did you like so when I was spoken to Jeremy, I think we spoke about this on the podcast.
Yes.
At Smith Lake Farm, there was a sign-up sheet. You got to pick your hole, so you knew which hole you wanted to go and play.
Yeah.
What I understand, it was a little bit different.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg, one of our lovely directors of the event, he just basically had everyone's name in a bag, and he was just pulling names right before the hole. Right. And it's funny, we had played hole one, and I didn't play hole one, but I really like hole two at South Bear, and I said kind of out loud to a couple people, I was like, oh man, I really hope I get hole two. It's my kind of hole. And Greg looks at me and goes, good news, I just pulled your name.
Nice.
So I got to play the hole that I wanted.
Right.
And it was really cool to have it that way, because then there was like an element of like, I know what hole's coming up. I hope my name doesn't get pulled for that. Or,
right.
In some cases you do want it. So that was a really unique way of doing it. It was one of the highlights for me was not only being on Champs vs. Chump, but meeting Ian Anderson and Corey Merrill. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're just legends of disc golf media in disc golf. Like, they're just, I can't think of anyone before them. There might have been some people, but Ian really brought videoing disc golf content to the forefront for disc golf. So to meet him was unbelievable. The event was incredible. I had some grievances with co-op in terms of just a couple of the pars for the holes.
Okay.
I felt a couple of the holes were like, that's a par 3. However, for the entire event, that was my single sole grievance. Wow. Because everything else was spectacular. The courses themselves were beautiful. They were well maintained. They were laid out really nicely. The opening ceremony was fantastic. The extracurriculars were great. The player party was fantastic. Like, what they did to make the event just complete as like almost like a festival was absolutely incredible. It inspired me to maybe run some other events in the future, or to think about how I would run events later, because it was such a fantastic job. Like, Greg was amazing. Sam was just everyone. The whole organizing committee just did an incredible job. It really felt special. And I played like fine, but like that's not even the highlight for me. Was how I played. Like I played fine. I played below my rating, but I felt I played really well. The Champs vs. Chumps was awesome. I think probably the highlight of the weekend for me was watching our own Riley Douglas and Jace Barrows playing with Nate Sexton on third card. And we, a group of us, just took in the whole round, and it was so surreal to see one of basically my disc golf hero playing with two buddies of mine, and just watching them from so close navigate that hard course and just interact and play disc golf. It was absolutely incredible. So just full marks to the Grand Prairie team and full marks to the community for stepping up the way they did to support the event the way that they did. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Did you go to Clearwater?
I did go to Clearwater. Yeah.
So you now have. Is that your second?
Yeah,
nationals?
this was my second nationals. Yeah, Clearwater was number one. Yes. Yeah.
Not that we'd ever want to compare one to the other, but at least you have, two different styles of courses or areas to look at. But you can say, okay, this is how this event was, and this is how I enjoyed my time here. Yeah. This is how this event was, and this is how I enjoyed my time here. Not that you would compare the two together, but Canada seems to be taking it to the next level with. Yeah.
To be fair, I think that a lot of Grand Prairie's learnings were from Clearwater.
Okay.
So not that I would compare the two, but I would say that one learned from the other. And I think that's what the impact of hosting these events and going to these events can be. You can go to another event and be like, I really liked that they did this, but I would also do this.
Right.
And I think that's what Grand Prairie did really well, was they took what was an amazing event in Clearwater and added upon it.
Right.
So,
and the facilities as well. I hear the Blue Project building.
Yeah.
They have that location there in Grand Prairie. Maybe they didn't have something like that in Clearwater. Maybe nothing central, or the facilities are going to be different, so you're going to be able to run different things. Proximity to different events, all those sort of things are going to be different.
Yeah.
So, just while you mentioned about Nate Sexton,
yes,
you mentioned had I taken in any Ledgestone, or obviously I know that you've been to some Pro Tour events. You've been to Memorial, back in the day, and other events like that. Have you seen Nate play before?
No, that was my first time meeting or seeing him play.
Okay.
So I absolutely got starstruck before Champs vs. Chumps. I did bring a little bag of Sexton Firebirds, not necessarily for him to sign. I wanted him to sign a couple, but it was kind of like a little bit of a gag for Champs vs. Chumps that I would I'm only coming with this bag of Firebirds. So I met him beforehand. He was so gracious with his time. Had him sign. I had 7 of them in this bag, and I pulled out 2, and I had him sign 2, and I was like, I'm not going to be the guy that makes him sign all 7 of these. So thank you for just signing the 2. Took my picture, and like I said, he was so generous with his time. It was really cool. I've been really fortunate to see a lot of pros play, especially at Memorial, like just incredible players. But it's cool because it's similar to Memorial in that watching Nate play, we were feet from him, and at Memorial, it's one of those tournaments where you can be that close to some of the pros playing. Right. So that was really cool.
Yeah. I know, we've interviewed him. I've met him out at Smith Lake Farm, and people have said to him, or one of the things that he always says, and I said it on the podcast before, is people will come up to him and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for bugging you," and he'll say, "You can try it, but you'll never do it."
Yeah, exactly. And you know what?
So gracious, and he realizes the position that he's in.
And you can sense that it's not lip service.
Yeah.
He genuinely has time for everyone and he doesn't put up walls against anyone. I was absolutely just I expected that, but it's what we got.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, well, we did promise some ex-presidents.
Yes.
We have a president waiting in the green room. I believe he's drank all the water.
He has.
He's finished all the M&Ms. He's ready to come on.
Yeah, so tonight's guest, he's a friend of mine, and he's been a big name in Alberta disc golf for a long, long, long time. If you've ever played Hole 10 at Hermitage Park in Edmonton, you will see that is called Wally's Way. It is the Tim Hortons triple-double Mando, and it's the man that it's named after. Welcome to the show, Wally Ovalle.
Well, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Hello, good sir. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. So we talked about Tim co-hosting last time on the podcast, and we were lucky enough to have you on the podcast for a full interview, including your origin story and your Desert Island discs. That was way back in season 1, episode 39.
Wow, look at
believe it
that.
or
Long ways away.
Believe it or not, that was 2 years ago this month.
And he looks younger
I can't
now.
believe that.
Yeah.
I definitely got more gray hair, that's for sure.
Well, at that time, you were getting ready to host your 100th tournament and call it a day on direct in tournament. So did that stick, or is that where the gray hair come from?
No, that's definitely stuck. I haven't run a tournament since, although I've been twitching and I've been thinking about it. So, you never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was one of my questions was, have you got the itch to get back out there and direct any tournaments? But have you been assisting anybody? Have you been giving people pointers and helping people out?
Oh, always. I mean, if anybody is reaching out for help, I am more than willing to help. So,
Awesome.
I bugged Wally a billion times when I started getting into like either hosting events or was part of EDGA, and having now gone through running a lot of events and kind of done all the organizing, it kind of never leaves your system. Like you can kind of step back, but you're always kind of in the back of your head, kind of like, well, it kind of looks like fun. I wouldn't mind kind of. Maybe you step back and you're like, okay, I'm happy I'm not doing it. But then you're like, I don't know, maybe I should probably get back into it. It looks kind of fun.
No,
I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even though I did it for so many years, I always enjoyed it. I love the planning aspect of things, and just running the event. I love seeing people having a good time and enjoying themselves. Yeah.
Well, Wally, I brought a couple items today that I wanted to show you. You cannot have them; they are mine. But I wanted to show you because, to me, they speak to the effort level, thought, and just the effort and that you always put into your events. So, pardon me for 1 second here.
Okay, Tim's going to be reaching into a little bag of tricks.
Oh my goodness!
Little bag of surprises.
This is a River City Cup trophy that I had got. It's from 18. But look at the detail on this hand. Look at this trophy.
Yeah.
Have it like.
Yeah.
This is the kind of like, to me, this just says like, this is care. This is attention to detail. This is so fun.
Exactly.
Like to me, this was like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
that is such a cool thing to have. And
and that was actually Chad Gamlin.
That's right.
That helped us put together those.
That's right. Chad had a big part of that, right? So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, there's more.
One of my favorite possessions that I have. I'll let you display that.
Ooh, okay.
This is from Wally specifically. He gave this to me, and I am just so unbelievably grateful to have this in my possession.
Let me see if I can get this on. So Edmonton River City Cup 2008.
Yes.
2000. Oh my goodness! Look at that.
Right?
That there.
Wow, that goes back.
Look at those baskets.
Oh.
That's the
all rusty chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually before we redid Rundle Park with Steve Mallet. Yeah,
that's right.
So that is so cool.
So where is that photo? Because I'm not recognizing.
That was that one I believe was hole 16. Now.
Oh, okay. Now I can kind of picture where that might be because of the.
It's all remade though. It's like yeah.
Or is it somewhere different than what the whole 16?
Yeah, it was a different whole number. I can't even remember what whole number that was. But yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Steve Mallet because my next disc is really special to me as well.
Oh wow.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Right? We talk about icons and legends in disc golf in Edmonton and Alberta. Steve Mallet is right up there as maybe number one.
He's the one that got us going. He's the one that started EDGA, He's the one that made it all happen for all of us, And so I did that disc in memory of him when he passed.
Yep. Just tremendous. And those last two discs, I mean, they mean so much to me just to have them in my possession. And again, I thank you, Wally, for gifting me those. And they keep me really humble and they keep me really with the community at mind because there's so many people like you, like Steve, and so many others that came before me and before Brock and whoever that built this community to what it is. Okay, I've got one more. Okay, I got one. This is a disc that Wally died for me my first year playing. Okay, it's very old now.
Is there nothing that you can't do, Wally?
This is.
My goodness! Yeah. Wow.
So when I first started playing,
That's so
when I
cool.
first started playing, Wally was one of the very first people I met. I met a handful of people, and Wally was one of the first ones, and he was doing kind of the occasional dying, and I was like, "You got to make me an Oilers disc." And so yeah, I thought I'd bring you down memory lane tonight with a couple of basement things.
Look how much that has bled. Wow.
I mean, I've had that disc.
Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable, right? So thank you for all that.
Thank you for keeping those, and I appreciate that you appreciate them, and that is very cool, very touching, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So out of all those discs, obviously, I looking at the Oilers disc that's been thrown.
Yeah, the Oilers disc was in the bag until last year. Basically, I removed it because it's a little flippy now because I threw it so much.
What is it?
It's a Wraith, I think, or is it a Destroyer?
I believe it was a Wraith. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Wraith. Yeah, it's a Wraith.
Yeah.
Because Wally remembers it's a Wraith and all that.
Well, he did two of them for me actually, and one of them may or may not be at the bottom of the Leduc course in the pond.
That's awesome that you remember dying it as well, Wally.
I do. It's funny. I look at through old pictures and I've seen some of these dives that I've done. I mean, this was so long ago.
Yes.
Like me and Chad got, started trying to dye discs, and we would hand cut everyone. So it was definitely time consuming, but my God, it was fun.
I think what really stuck out to me when I first kind of joined the community is like I played for my first year kind of just recreationally with a buddy of mine, and it was guys like Wally, like Chad, like Tim Sherman, like Richard Zimmerman, who's no longer with us, but Richard was a big part of the group as well back then. Just so many people who just made it feel like we are here. If you need anything, join this club. We're they were just so passionate about it, just so incredibly passionate about it, and it was infectious. And like even the shirt that I'm wearing.
Oh, nice! Yeah,
EDGA 2017. So pretty. It was a group that made me feel very special. And I remember I've told the story before. However, I remember distinctly being at home one night, getting a message from Wally, and he's saying, hey, the meeting for the EDGA Council's coming up right away. Would you consider being the vice president? And I don't have a lot of time, Wally, but you know what, Wally? For you, I'm not going to say no. Absolutely. Okay, great. 2 days later, hey, buddy, it's not going to be the vice president. And the size of shoes to fill were unbelievable. But again, as I said, kind of off the top, Wally was there every single step of the way. He took every question. He never made me feel like I was bothering him. He answered everything. He helped out every single step of the way. And boy, I was lucky enough to be the president for 4 years. 4 years, that's it. And without Wally not only building the community to that point, I would have not been able to do what I was able to do. And I feel very strongly, I'm not going to be shy about it, I feel strongly that I did a lot of good. I wasn't perfect, but I think I did a lot of good. But
no, you did. Trust me, you did. You definitely stepped up to the plate, and you hit a few home runs for the club, so.
Well, but it takes being on the shoulders of folks like yourself to be able to do that. And I see where Brock is now with the club. It's just so incredible. Like there's just so much going on, and it's self-sustaining, and it's growing, and it feels like it's growth that's natural and organic, as opposed to just kind of more people are playing and more people are on the courses, and that's that. It feels like the club is growing. And seriously, Wally, I always want to tell you how much it meant that you were always there to just support, to be there, to build to, and just to be there in the early days for me was so influential and important. So I'll rest my case, but from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you.
Oh no, I appreciate you, buddy. Like it's it's definitely been quite the journey.
Yes.
To say the least. And I mean, like I said, you guys have taken a lot more than I ever did, because I mean, when I started, it was a small club. We had, 8, 10, 12 members, and then it continued to grow to 20, 30, 40, 80, and then, when you guys took over, then we hit the COVID bubble, and it exploded.
It did.
And it was a lot to manage. And like I said, I appreciate you guys having done what you have done for the club to keep it and maintain it the way it's been, and keep that same goals that we had. So
That's right.
Yeah.
I-
I just want to jump in
Yeah.
because we've heard twice now the story of how you got
Yes.
the call to be that. I want to hear it from your side, Wally. When originally it was the
Yeah.
vice president.
Yeah. How did it fall on my name? How did you scroll the Rolodex?
Was it always
I'll be
the
honest,
plan?
It was a plan all along
Yeah.
to try to get them in, and
Oh,
they kind
man.
of say, "Oh, you know what? Last minute, let's see if we can get him be the president." Because
This guy.
honestly,
This
I had
guy.
done it for so long, So that's the truth. I was looking
This guy.
for somebody to replace, and I did stay on as
Yeah.
vice president, I think, for a couple
Yes.
more years.
Yeah.
So it was. I was trying to get somebody to take over my role, So
The truth
but it
comes
worked
out.
out
There you
great
go.
at the end, right?
It did.
So,
It did for everyone. And this is a good little segue now. You've had time to do things like, I don't know, be a sponsored player.
right. Yes.
So tell us about Elevation.
Wow. I mean, like I said, that's something I never thought I ever do. I mean, like, it's my 25th year playing, and I guess I should have reached out sooner to companies, So, Alex Penny told me to, hey, you know what, reach out to them, and you never know, right? And the owner, Austin, he's just been amazing from the get-go. Like, he's supportive of, players that are not, super pros and anything like that, right? So
Maybe like community
been
builders and stuff.
100%.
Yeah, great.
So he was so stoked to have me on the team, and I in turn was so stoked to be part of a team, And
Totally.
I mean, I love the plastic. Like, ever since the Koi came out 5 years ago, I started throwing it, and I've been in love with it, And
Great.
I can't get enough of it. I love the disc, I love the plastic, and I love the team. Like I said, everybody's so supportive. Like, our captain, she's just amazing. She's all about growing the sport, and I believe you had a chance to meet her.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, because I did the PDGA TD Academy, which was run by
That's
Laura.
right.
And I mentioned
That's
to her,
right.
she's the team captain for Elevation. I mentioned to her, I'm like, oh, you might know Alex Penny and Wally Ovalle. And she was like, oh, yeah, of course I know Wally. Wally's awesome. And, so how, like you mentioned there, she's a great team captain. How is she to, be a part of?
Oh my God. Like I said, she's definitely amazing. Like, she does so much for the sport as well, like so much. It's incredible, so, and her attitude, like she just shines, like it's incredible, like I love everything that she stands for. So.
Yeah. Did you throw a lot? I know you mentioned the Koi. Did you throw a lot of elevation before you decided to apply
100%.
for the team?
Like I said, I've been throwing older plastic. Like, as soon as it comes out, I'm like, ooh, I gotta have it.
Right.
And I love the super gummy plastic. Like some people like the the firm stuff, but nope. I love the gummy. Like, give me the gummier the better.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the Koi, and I think that's that's the one disc that I own from Elevation. I think it's a lot of go-to Elevation disc for a lot of people, just because they know it's going to stick around the basket.
100%.
But I know friends of ours, Mark Thompson, and we mentioned him, Alex Penny. They throw a lot, not only the putter, but they throw the mid ranges and fairways as well. How do those further discs fly, being so soft and flexible? Do they fly?
My mid range, the Nimbus, flies super straight. Like, if I snap it on a line towards the basket, it literally holds the line the whole way.
Wow!
Like, it just holds it the whole way, And
it's the most difficult shot in disc golf, the straight shot.
100%, and that's my go-to. Like, I mean, I used it so much in Drumheller, but unfortunately, you know what Drumheller can do to this.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that this took a beating, and I only have one of those super gummies, so now I got to try to find another one or 5, So.
Well, I was lucky enough to go out recently and play with Brent Baker, and he showed me a disc with your name on it. You've got a disc with, That's pretty cool.
Recently just, a couple of weeks ago, I guess we get we get some discs that we get to sell to support our events throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody at Team Elevation gets their name on a stamp. And so I got some of those discs. So I was actually going to tell you that I was going to donate one of those discs to Chain Out Podcast, you can give it away. And
that's fantastic.
yeah, so that would be awesome. Yeah, because
Thank
it
you. Yeah,
meant a lot
we'd
to me.
really appreciate that.
And Kristen
Yeah,
bought one
no.
of those discs in support of Wally, and when it came in, when we got it, it was pretty cool. Like, oh, there he is,
Yeah.
right there on there. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool to see my name on a disc. I never
Yeah.
thought I'd see that in my entire life, but it's incredible. So.
I see my name on discs all the time, just on the backside though.
Mine, for some reason, keeps on wearing off.
Oh
I don't know
yeah. So does Elevation have a lot of Canadian sponsored players, or are you kind of in a league of your own?
why. You know what? There's two of us.
Okay.
There's another fellow in Ontario, and then just myself.
Okay.
But I mean, they are in Denmark.
Sure.
They are in some parts of Europe, I guess, and all over the States. So yeah, they definitely have representation all over the place. So it's pretty awesome to see.
Great. Mm-hmm. I haven't thrown a lot of Elevation, but it's been one of those brands that has just kind of escaped my hands. Mm-hmm. I gotta try it, to be honest. I gotta try it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like the super floppy ones do feel weird when you first try them.
Sure.
And there's a learning curve to them, but once you have it, I mean, like approaches for me, like I can do 200-foot approaches with my koi, and 9 out of 10 times I'm under the basket or within 5 feet. Right. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of something that's not going to roll away, because I tend to throw with a lot of spin. Like I have a lot of torque. And so it's not, and I like to, I'm a hyzer thrower. So I like to throw things on hyzer. So I can't tell you how many times I'm cooked by my own disastrous throwing attempts. So maybe something that isn't going to roll away high speed is, in my future.
That's pretty much it, right? Wherever it lands, that's where it stays.
Yes. I think I've seen one roll once, like out of all the millions of times I've seen someone throw a koi, I've seen it roll, and it was like a windy day on like a mountain cliff.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not like glue. Sometimes they do roll away. I know last year in Drumheller, I had one on the cliff hole, and I do my putt, and hits the wood and decides to roll all the way down the cliff, so...
Sounds like you need to stop going to Drumheller.
Yes.
What would you say your favorite Elevation disc is?
Oh, the koi. By far the koi.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do without the koi. It's my go-to for everything. And I love like the first, second, third run. So whenever I see that somebody has one, I try to buy it. So
for
because
somebody that
I don't
doesn't
want to
know,
run out. So
for somebody who doesn't know a lot about Elevation, obviously they're rubber. Are they recycled? Are there different runs? Do they come in different rubber blends?
It is recycled rubber. So
cool.
That's one of the things that Austin definitely cares about is using recycled materials.
Cool.
Okay.
For plastic, right? So
cool.
And then he came out with a new one, the Uctena, which is a high-speed driver. I believe it's like a 11.6 -22. Incredible. It's the feel of the disc is like anything you have ever felt in your hands, right? So it's a different blend of plastic, but it just feels so good.
Cool. 11.6 -22. I think high glide, a little bit of turn, could be a bomber.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We have a question from the chat. Sonia wants to know, what's the difference between EcoFlex and EcoFirm? Ooh. Is it just...
So the firm is definitely going to be a lot more firm of a plastic, right? So it still has, flexibility, but certainly not like the original one. Yeah, like that one is just going to be super floppy.
Right.
But the firm, you're going to feel the firmness of the plastic.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. So you've had a chance to, so obviously, you've run all these tournaments, you're part of Team Elevation. You've had a chance to put on some clinics as well. What type of clinics have you been doing and how have they been attended? I know you've done a couple this year.
Yeah. So it wasn't super high attendance, but I like, so the first one was just to showcase what Elevation Disc was all about, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Basically, because there wasn't that many people that showed up, I just gave a disc to everybody that showed up, And then the second one was, how to get out of trouble clinic.
Cool.
I think that's a very, very important part of the game. And I think most of the folks that showed up definitely took a lot away, to help their game to, how to get out of trouble, right? So, which is, my game it's okay, but I do get into a lot of trouble in woods, but somehow I seem to find a way to get out, either, doing a hammer, a grenade, a
Yeah.
roller, and it always seems to kind of work out and save my part, right? So
I was
so
gonna
scramble
say.
shots is a huge part of my game.
Yeah.
So I thought,
I
why
think
not show people how to do it?
it's a huge part of the game and a huge thing that's not taught or not even covered.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you see all these clinics, they're always backhand, forehand, putting, backhand,
Sure.
forehand, putting.
Why not get at a jail card?
Exactly. I mean, like you said,
Exactly.
for I would say 90% of the golfers out there, that's where you're going to find yourself at least a handful of times around.
And like, who better to
Exactly.
teach it than Wally, who's always in the trees?
No, I don't say always, but, but a lot of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trees, how'd you like those Grand Prairie courses? How'd you like nationals?
I loved it. It was such a great experience. I'm glad that we had it back in Alberta after
Yes.
25 years. The last time that we had it was here in Edmonton, right, in 2001, hosted by Steve Mallet. Yeah, so that was incredible to see it back in Alberta after such a long hiatus.
Yeah,
So
totally.
and I love the courses like Grand Prairie. They do an amazing job. And
Yeah.
their courses are incredible. So, and for me, South Bear, I love the course, and I got to do a lot of those scramble shots there too.
Had you played
But
the
yeah, I
courses before going up to nationals this year?
I had not. No, I had not played it since 2001.
Oh,
So I had really just played 3-4 holes before the tournament,
Wow.
and that's Friday. Was it the Friday or the Saturday? Yeah, Friday. The first round that it was 60-kilometer-an-hour winds,
Yeah.
and I ended up shooting a +1 at South Bear, which
Wow.
was insane. I mean, I didn't know what the score was until I made my putt on hole 18, and yes, I did lay up. I did not go for it, but to see the score at the end, I'm like, +1, like what? That was incredible.
So you're not a score watcher then during the round?
I am not a score watcher.
Really?
I love it to be a surprise at the end.
Wow.
with
Like in
Really?
Drumheller, I think I had a Drumheller. This was like 6 years ago, maybe, and I had a round that I shot like -5, I think it was, which was my best round ever at Drumheller. And once again, I wasn't score watching, and I think I came back to beat Joey at the final. Yeah, but Chad is like, "Oh, you should see how far you are." I'm like, "No, I don't want to know." And then we
I'm
looked
the
at
same.
scores, and I'm like, "Woo!"
Oh, I love
Yeah.
looking at scores. Every hole I'm looking at scores, not just mine. I'm looking at everyone's scores. I'm looking at other people's other divisions. I'm like,
Oh
look,
my goodness!
I love
really?
it.
I
Like, how
couldn't-
do you concentrate on
Yeah.
what you're doing?
No, when I get on the tee pad, that's when I'll lock in. But like outside of that, no,
Wow.
I don't need to be thinking about shots and stuff like that. I know what I'm doing. I'm throwing a Sexton Firebird.
That's pretty
Well,
much.
that's all you throw, though.
No, I couldn't handle having that much pressure of knowing, oh, I'm one shot behind this person. If I get a birdie here, I'll jump ahead 2
Oh,
spots.
I
Or
love it. I love it. I'm like
I
a
just-
shark in the water.
Throw the
Oh
shot.
my
and-
goodness, yeah. I don't think I could handle it, to be quite honest. But either way, for me, it's really all about the fun at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, sometimes we have some rough holes and some bad luck, but at the end of the day, it's all about the fun and playing with great people. Like I got to meet so many new folks at Grand Prairie. So that's what I've always loved about the game. Since I started the game, that's what got me into the game.
Yeah.
Was the people, meeting the Chads, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty incredible, and to be still friends with them 25 years later, man, you can't be more grateful than that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a game of gratitude. I love that, and you're so right.
Yes.
It's the people are just unbelievable. I've been lucky to be in a lot of different communities in my life through playing like men's league hockey or being in the music industry or through my work and whatever. But I don't know. I've never been able to really put my finger on what it is about the disc golf community that everyone is just like, it's almost like you're in a club and I'm in a club and we know how cool this is, but you just give each other like the little, like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know how how good this is.
100%, 100%. I mean, the community's been incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, and we can kind of relate this back to maybe some work with EDGA or anyone out there that's listening that might be interested in doing some volunteer work with their local organizing committee. But it's a lot of work for sure. There's no doubt that it's a lot of work. And obviously in your role, you're probably getting a lot of administrative work and a lot of things and a lot of volunteering. And for Wally, I mean, obviously it was a ton of work and I know how much it was for me, but sometimes people would come up to me and be like, it seems like a thankless job, and I would be like, it's not, because as much as it's hard work, everyone is so grateful. Everyone is so grateful for all the work and all the efforts and everything like that. And everyone just makes you feel so appreciated and so loved. And I just like I said, still can't really put my finger on it, but there's something about this sport that just attracts people who just give a blank, who just care so deeply.
Yes.
It's just really, I know it's cliche to say like it's such a special group, but it is.
Right.
It's so special.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
For me,
like I said, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for me, it's awesome to hear, the old guard, if you want me to put it that way, talking about how, we can get into it a little bit more as well, about how EDGA started and where it's come from for now. Like being a relatively new disc golfer, I've only experienced the club and, the people in it for a few years. So knowing what the community was like and how it's grown and how tight knit it still seems today.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I just want to mentioning about meeting Wally on the course and all that. My first introduction to you was hole 10 at Hermitage. Where I was out on my own and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just out there throwing discs, and all of a sudden I went to tee off. Somebody came up, stood on the tee pad, threw their disc. As they walked past me, said, "I see your bag tag. Thanks for being an EDGA member," and carried on walking. So you quickly played through without asking, actually, but
without asking, what?
Anyone who knows Tim knows that he doesn't like hanging around and he likes to play disc golf.
I like getting things done. I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing in my old age. I will say, in my defense, when I used to go out for practice rounds, I didn't like getting texts. I didn't like looking up.
Right.
I want to be like laser focused. I'm not like that anymore. Okay. I'm better. But thank you for being a member.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds like me.
You were out on your own. You probably had somewhere to get to. So you're like, I don't want to, I see this amateur. I can see,
I can see this amateur.
You probably saw me on hole 9 or 8, I'm going to catch up with him soon. I'm going to catch up with him.
Bearded homeless guy over on the course, so they got him.
Well, seeing as we do have 3 generations, of the board, I won't call myself the president. I'm the vice president, but on here, let's chat about how EDGA started. We've spoken to you before, Wally, about it. Tim, you've obviously chimed in as well with where you've come from. Can you start us out on the early days of EDGA, Wally? Like, how did it get started? Who were those first pioneers? We mentioned Steve Mallett, obviously, but who was that first core group of people that decided that Edmonton needed a board?
Let me see if I can remember names now. So I believe there was Scott too. There was 2 Scotts, part of the original group. Who else was it? Trying to remember name. I'm trying to remember what I wrote on the website.
I'm just pulling that up right now. It's Scott Annette.
Yes, thank you. So Scott, it was Scott Perot as well, I believe. Who was another one? There was the course ambassador, Greg DeGrief, maybe, I believe.
These names are all new to me, so if you're saying,
trust me, they're new to me again. So,
Robbie Lychuk was there very early days.
100%, Rick Lychuk. So Rick. All those people started growing the club, and like I said, it was very small.
Mm-hmm.
When we had doubles, it was like 10, 12 of us. And then more and more people started coming in. But like I said, that came from that mentality of just being inviting, to anyone that you see on the course. And that's how I started, right? Because I started, I think it was 2001, and I was chucking some discs with my family and then with my friends, right? And then I believe I met Chad and Rick and Rob. And, they were very welcoming, and Gil Velasquez too was there.
Yes.
Dan. And we had many, many people. And like I said, they were inviting. And I was throwing this disc that it was called Frisbee Golf. And I bought it at Toys R Us. So it was like a mid-range putter thing, but so then somebody said, "Oh, you know what? That guy sells some discs, right?" So I'm like, "Ooh!" So I went and bought a Dragon, was my first disc,
right?
And a Champion Edition T-Bird, and then 25 years later, 3,000 discs later,
So
But yeah.
You're saying that you were out there throwing discs and you met this community. Which courses were you playing on? What was available back then?
There was only the one course. It was just Rundle Park, and it was 15 holes at that time, I think, or not even. Maybe we only had the 9. So in 2002, that's when I got into it. And I played my first tournament, which was River City Cup. And this is after I had gotten back from traveling for like 7 months in South America. So I wanted, something to do. So I thought, hey, let's go play this tournament, right? And I happened to be bartending for a friend that was getting married. Mm-hmm. So I ended up missing the whole second round on Saturday, because back then we used to play 2 rounds on Saturday and 2 rounds on Sunday.
Right.
And so that's how River City Cup worked. So I'm like, okay, I got to miss the second round because I got to go bartending, right? So they ended up giving me par +4, so came back Sunday and I ended up 2 strokes behind first place. So I'm like, ooh, wow. This is exciting, I'm hooked. I'm immediately hooked, and the people were amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was players from Calgary, right? So, CBJ, who was a pioneer of, disc golf in Alberta, right? So,
for sure.
So then I ended up going to a tournament in Calgary, which was at Lloyd Park. This was before it even became a course. Yeah. So, and I ended up winning my division by 27 strokes or something like that.
He was a natural, folks. Wow. He's a natural.
Yeah, right? So I'm like, okay,
didn't even go easy on
somebody said, you should move up, right? So back then we didn't have all these different divisions. We had novice and we had advanced,
right?
Which is like MA1 now, right?
Right. Yeah.
So then somebody said, oh, you should go play MA1, right? So I'm like, sure, I'll try it.
Okay.
Well, then I was last place for the next 2 years. It was a learning curve, right? So, but like I said, having to meet everybody, then I started becoming just a regular, right? And I was playing every single tournament that I heard about. Mm-hmm. Because back then we really didn't have internet or good internet anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So it was all by posters, right? Posted at the course.
Wow.
So you just show up and you pay and you play the tournament, right? So it was great. So then, I started playing the doubles tournament, right? And which was always on Sunday, at 11 or noon, right? So, and then that's how I started meeting all the people that were involved, and then who was running, River City Cup, and I wanted to get more involved, right? Because I've always enjoyed doing things like that. So then I believe my first tournament was an ice bowl tournament. Yeah. So I started running the ice bowl in 2004.
Okay.
And then I decided to become vice president in 2005. Okay. And I helped the buddy that was president run the first River City Cup that I ever ran. And he had like a sponsorship from McDonald's. So, we had like McDonald's, juice and trophies that they provided, which was very cool.
So cool.
So that was Doug White, who was the president in 2005. Prior to that, in 2004, it was Rob Lychuk.
That's right.
And I helped him design. I mean, I didn't design anything. I just drew this thing on a napkin. And he thought, hey, that's cool. So he put it on T-shirts. So, yeah. So I wish, what? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I want to see. I'll show you.
Yeah.
And I'll segue real quickly. Some designs that Wally's done. I, kind of had the latest EDGA logo requisitioned, and there was several logos before. Wally had this wonderful idea the other day to just put kind of all the last kind of 4 or 5 EDGA logos on like a shirt. Right. It's such a cool idea to like honor the legacy of EDGA.
I would love to see that happen. To be quite honest, I would love to see that. So this is what I drew. Oops.
Oh, that is so cool!
Wow.
Right? Yeah, so that was on a napkin. So Robbie was thoughtful enough to print that and give it to me framed, So I've hold on to it all these years, So
it's so cool.
Talk about holding on to memorabilia and
yeah.
So amazing.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like it's, like I said, it's the community. It's all about the community.
So
Yeah.
I have a couple questions then, just because I know with my time with the club, kind of the administrative role that we took on to like finish Hermitage, to kind of like just elevate our kind of status with the city a little bit. But before that, there was a lot of groundwork laid by yourself. Obviously, Rundle Park was an original format, and then the current format is actually like it was like an additional 9, I think, that was built on.
That's right. So that it was really spearheaded by Steve Mallett, right?
Right.
And at that time, we had a fellow, I can't remember his name, but he worked for the city of Edmonton, but he was super gung-ho about helping our club,
Right.
and making the revive Rundle Park, right, and the disc golf course, right. So yeah, Steve Mallett and I had many meetings with the community, with the city, and then they finally approved $50,000 to redo Rundle Park.
Wow.
Excuse me. So then we designed what you see now, the layout that you see now, and there was a couple of holes that I didn't agree with, but I was like, well, it's Steve, so he gets what he wants, so we'll go with that, So yeah, and then I believe in 2010, that's when it all finally happened, and the city put the T-pads in and the signs. We just raised the money for the baskets, and we ended up like selling like the old cone baskets that you showed on that disc.
Yeah.
To try to raise money, But I think I ended up donating 3 baskets myself. So I donated baskets on hole 9, 10, and 11.
Wow.
So those are the ones that I donated. Yeah. So
okay, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's such an undertaking to sell disc golf to the city, because I think the people who are in the community know how great it is and how utilized the courses are. But I think to some others who still feel it's quite a niche sport, it's like, well, really, we're gonna give X amount of dollars for those 5 people.
Yeah.
It's like, these courses serve thousands of people. Thousands. And one of our data metrics is just using UDisc, but how many casual players are using UDisc?
Exactly.
That's just it.
Right.
That's
so
just it. Like we're not even seeing the the numbers that I get from UDisc about Hermitage.
Yeah.
It blows my mind away. Like it's insane how
And
many
it's a
people
fraction.
play that course.
And it's a fraction. 100%.
Exactly.
It's the good and the bad. It's the fact that one of the reasons why we love disc golf is that the barrier to entry is so low.
It's so low.
You just need a couple of discs. The courses are free to play. No tee times needed. The downside is it's free to play and there's no tee times needed, so people can just walk on and play whenever they want.
Yeah.
Like on a regular golf course, you have to book a tee time. You have a metric. You have those registered tee times.
Yeah.
You know how many people are playing. With our with our sport, people can just show up, like you said, casual golfers play, don't have to register on UDisc, just go for a casual round.
Yeah.
And that number, I don't know. I didn't even hesitate. I couldn't even guess what that percentage of actual plays compared to the plays that are recorded on UDisc.
The barrier to play is so low. I remember I was playing the other day. I was on hole 10 at Hermitage, and I blew by this guy who was a brand new player. I said thanks for being in the club, but he was obviously brand new, and no one had shown him how to play.
75-foot hyzer.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. No, and I think maybe that's something that we need to do to, improve, I guess, who plays the course. I think I brought this idea up 17, 18 years ago, that we should have had something that when you come and play, you push like a number on this little counter or something, right?
Yeah.
And then that way you would get a true idea of,
I've seen one idea online that I thought was interesting, and that was a turnstile at hole 1. So you just walk through it, and it just counts it. You just walk through the turnstile, and then you're on T1, and it would be a more authentic way of knowing who's played it. Because, how many casual players even know what UDisc is?
Yeah, no,
right.
exactly. We put up the signs, we can do what we can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I've always kind of in the back of my mind, not to punch down on city council or anything like that, but just to say it would be an interesting exercise if someone from our sports liaison department or city council or something of that effect just came to Rundle on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, put a chair up and just watched.
Yeah.
See, that.
I think we should definitely find out how pickleball got so popular, and kind of utilize the same model.
Yeah.
Well, to that, we have a question in the chat exactly about that mentions that. So we'll bring it up here. From one Kristen Swirls, question for Wally: what sport or club do you think you might have took hold of if you never found disc golf? Would you be a pickleballer now?
You know what? Probably, but I don't know. You know what? Like I played a lot of sports prior to disc golf.
Right.
Like I played ball hockey. I played indoor soccer. You know, a little bit of basketball. But honestly, after I found disc golf, it's the only sport that I just wasn't able to quit. You know,
Right.
Even when I had my struggle years where I was super overweight. You know, and I suffered from gout a lot, but even that stuff didn't keep me away, you know. So
Yeah.
so that says something about the sport, you know. So
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
there's just something about it. Like I'm kind of battling a hand, not injury, but just kind of like some dermatitis, and it was really hard to not play this winter. And all winter, I love still playing in the winter, even though it's just the worst idea of all time. But it was so hard. It was just so hard not to get out there on a nice winter day and go just throw. And it's just so, I don't know, there's something so satisfying about it. Like, it's cliche to say, but like watching the flight of the disc or just knowing you have like control over it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm a sports guy. I played baseball growing up. I play men's league hockey. I love kind of all sports, but I've never really felt so connected to a sport like this. And
correct.
And then to come into it, not only loving the sport itself, but just having such an incredible cast of characters of people around. I don't know. It's just what kind of life do I get to live? This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
lucky.
If we can just pull it back a little bit to the EDGA side as well. In those early days, you mentioned about meeting all those people and becoming the vice president, wanting to be on the board, things like that. When you got on to the board, aside from the tournaments, was there any other was there any other initiatives that the board was looking at? Like, was there a goal that the board had in mind? Maybe it was like members. Was it courses? Like, was there anything driving the board at that time?
Well, I guess I believe the motto, I'm trying to remember what our motto was, but it was just, it was to be inviting, to make the sport fun, it was never about growth. It was more like a family kind of thinking, I guess, and it just, it was always just, if you see somebody, go and show them,
Cool.
how to grip, how to throw, and if you have a disc, so we had a little bit of growth, like we did try to, incorporate it into like the school's curriculum,
Right.
And which I believe now is part of the school's curriculum, to go and play disc golf, right? So, because it's affordable, right? And anybody can play it, right? So, but like it was never, it's just about maintaining, but it was definitely trying to welcome new players, and if we see somebody, just, hey, come and join me and I'll show you, what it's like and what it's all about, right? So, and I think that's how we had the growth. And like I said, we had lots of players come and go, like people that played for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
And then, something would happen, right? Like life, throws curveballs, right?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
So, people would come and go, but slowly we kept on growing, we kept on growing and, so that was part of it. So,
and that probably just goes to show, more of your commitment and the person who you are and who the board was, that you weren't actively out there trying to grow the community, but yet you still grew the community.
Yes.
Just by being out there and just being welcoming and welcoming those new players, right? Not blasting past them on hole 10.
Exactly. And the biggest thing I think was to keep it affordable, So I think memberships were, a lot of the times they were even free, and
right.
Just to get people involved, and but it was always, it was just trying to make it fun, and the league, right? So it's, I think that was the biggest outcome. It's just come out to league, and it was just always a blast. Like that was your church, come out on Sunday and play disc golf, so.
Yeah.
I remember that was definitely what drew me in, was a member was like, we have a league every Thursday, and that's where I, I picked it up immediately, and it was just in love with Thursday Rundle League immediately. And it's awesome to hear kind of your perspectives of what the club was kind of, what the North Star was for the club at that time, and that it was so kind of authentically just be welcoming and show people how to play the game. I felt when I came in at such a unique time because the COVID boom was happening. It was kind of like trying to put cats in a box. Like it was just trying to like, it was like, there are so many people right now who are finding this sport in such immediacy. How do we make sure they know that we exist? Mm-hmm. Like that was what I always felt pressure. I was always like, we just gotta grow because I need people to know we exist. If people know we exist, then we can get funding, we can grow our courses and expand and get improvements. Like I was really driven by just trying to capture people. So I kind of always, it's funny. I feel like I grew up in Wally's era of really being welcoming and inviting and stuff like that. And I sense that. And sometimes I wonder if I maybe went in a bizarre way of just trying to like capture people and like, be in this club, damn it. So that's a really cool way to go from kind of, that time to my time. And now I kind of want to throw it over to you.
Well, I just got a question for you because you did that transition.
Yes.
We talked about how you told Tim that he was going to be the president. How did that handover go? Like, was it seamless from, we can get both sides of this interaction?
I thought it was seamless. I mean, like I said, Tim had definitely, what do you mean? Okay. In my eyes, it went seamless.
Exactly. In your eyes.
You said, here's the keys.
You know what?
Pretty much. I mean, it was a lot of meetings. He called me, and I was more than willing to give him
3 a.m.
advice he needed.
It'd be 3 a.m. I'd be waking up in a cold sweat, and I'd say I need the website URL and back domains and all that. No, Wally's right. I'm being a little bit facetious. It was, and Wally was there for me every Saturday. He stayed on the board for at least the first year, if not the one after. But he did make it as seamless as possible. I mean, there was just. I think when I took over, I didn't realize the administrative load. Mm-hmm. I knew that I like being a figurehead and being like a leader and being like having direction and presiding over the board. I knew that. I'm a manager in my job. I feel like when I was in a band, I was kind of a leader in that aspect. So I knew I kind of had those attributes.
Right.
But it was the administrative load that I wasn't like, oh my God, I didn't know that we needed insurance. I didn't know that we had contracts with the city for the courses. Right. I didn't know that our website had to be redone. Like there was just so many things I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then coming in at a time where it was like, okay, we have Thursday Rundle League and the instructions are very clear. That doesn't change. Like it was so important. And when I kind of moved on and that's pretty much the one thing I said to Brock. I said, Brock, you're going to be an amazing president. Do whatever you need to do to make this club the best possible. But if you touch Thursday Rundle League, I will hurt you. So, but the transition
that has been passed down for for all these years. Yeah. I passed it down to Shane when he became president. He did the same thing to James. James did that back to me. So it's.
Yeah, it's church.
It's the one staple. Yeah,
it's church.
That's right.
And like I said, Wally was so gracious with his time. I never felt like I was burdening him. He never made me feel like I was a burden to him for asking any question. The transition was so interesting. And we had a lot of, in the first year, we had a really unique council of kind of like young and really energetic folks who were really interested in this sport, but didn't really know what the club was about, but really wanted to be a part of it. And a lot of the old guard who were like, really had spearheaded the club for a long time. And not that there was like a ton of infighting per se, but there was just like some diametrically opposed ideas.
Right.
And it was cool and frustrating at the same time because you could tell what this sport meant to the old guard and how they had those amazing qualities of being welcoming and treating it like a family. But we also had these energetic people who were like, well, we need leagues, we need a new this, we need that, we need to, who just wanted to just pour their souls into it. Mm-hmm. And so it was really, it was unique for me because I did have to sit in the middle and be like, well, we do need to do this. Well, we do need to do that. Well, I think we should go this way. And kind of mediate a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was really unique though, because as much as there were diametrically opposed ideas, a lot of times everyone was pulling on the same rope. Like once we made a decision, everyone was like, "Yup, we're doing it."
Right.
And that was so cool.
So who else was on the board? Who else was helping you? Because current President Brock was your vice president, I believe. Or I guess you had
not
Travis.
at the time. So I had Travis,
Yeah.
we had Fubi, we had Joey, we had James Morton was originally on the board, Wally. Gosh, I'm forgetting some people.
How about Vicky?
Yes, Vicky. Oh my God, how
Yeah.
could I forget Vicky? Of course. Her impact was so silently great. She made such an impact on the board. Like, was a huge part of the women's league, and she chose the color scheme of the jerseys, of the whole club. She did so much for us, and she was just like, one thing I think Vicky did. I'm so glad you brought up Vicky, Wally. Thank you. One thing that Vicky did that I thought was spectacular was my previous history. I'd never presided over a council, and she had some council experience. And it would be like, okay, who's taking the meeting minutes? Like, oh, okay, we have to motion that. Okay, did the motion pass? Okay, we have to like, she really brought an air of professionalism and legitimacy to our council. And not that there wasn't that before, but it was like, for me, it was like, oh my God, this is like, we're making decisions. This is legitimate. Like, I felt like she kept me in line, and that was
very
amazing.
Analytical, which was definitely needed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So that was incredible. I mean, it was just what a learning experience for me. And, I think I look back on that time and I just think like my head still feels like it's spinning from that first year. But I never sensed anything other than gratitude from the people around me. Mm-hmm. And when I was ready to step back for Brock and you guys and the team now, I was like, I feel so good about this.
Right.
I feel so like you guys are just going to take it and run, and I feel like you have. Like you guys have done things that I know I'm not capable of. Like just again, we look at now Nor'Wester getting brand new Innova baskets and tee pads. And just some of the long-term visioning and come on, tell us a little bit about the modern. Well, like put yourself up there, my man.
For me, I'm involved in this era, right? So I know it's the day to day, it's the week by week, so it's nothing new to me. Hearing your two views on how the board has grown and the divisions and things like that, and I think my way of looking at it is probably it may not be exactly the same, but it's going to be the same as yours. As in, I'm a part of a board that's taking over from what you've set up.
Sure.
So you took over from Wally and all that great group of people from what they've set up. So we're always taking on a great foundation from somebody else.
Right.
So I mean, it's I joined last year. I was and that was the thing when I joined. There was a couple of 1 and 2 year positions that were coming available.
Correct.
So I joined as a communications. I took over from Vicky.
Right.
And that was a 1 year position. And then the next year, this most recent year, just happened to be that Matt Dwyer, who was the vice president, couldn't commit to the time, and you mentioned all about the admin and stuff like that. So he stepped down. He moved into a different role on the board, so he still stayed on the board. He just couldn't commit to the vice presidency. So I thought, you know what, I enjoy it, and exactly what you were saying about being a part of the community and being a part of the board, seeing what good we can do and how we can grow the sport, and all the different projects that we've got going, and the vision of where it could be. I was like, you know what? I want to be a little bit more involved in this. I don't mind doing communication, obviously, with the podcast, social media. And, that's kind of one aspect of this is
all
something
about communication.
Yeah. And even, that's why we all like disc golf, right? Why you run leagues, why you run tournaments, why we start a podcast to talk about disc golf, because we love it so much that we want to spread that word.
Yeah.
So that's just the next step, is why I was like, you know what? I want to do more. I want to be on the board. Communication post was available. Now I'm the vice president. I now get to see what Brock does. There's no way I want to be the president. Like you said, the admin, the level of admin, the level of forms that you have to fill out, the red tape that you have to go through the city, the liaisons that you have to speak to. It's great being on a board with a lot of people, and we have the meetings, and everybody's, let's do this, or the Slack chat we have. Can we do this? Can we do that? And Brock has to be the voice of reason to say, There's a process that we have to go through. We have to speak to this department. This is no longer city. This is provincial.
Yeah.
This is that. And he knows all of this stuff. And you mentioned about not knowing that you need to have, a website or a chair or, minutes taken, that sort of thing. Brock
and then try installing a brand new course.
That's right.
Yeah,
on top of all of that. That's the moneymaker right there. That's the thing that people want, the thing to go do.
Yes.
Right.
So I felt, I don't know about you, Daryl, but my first year, I remember just feeling like my head was spinning, and then I felt like confidence. I felt like I was getting supported. I felt like all that. And when I left, of course, I was feeling like, feeling really good about it. How do you feel today? Do you feel like if you were like, okay, I think I did my time, I feel good? Like, do you feel like this club's got it? He's like, no, it's going to crash and burn without me.
No. The club is definitely in a great situation. Like, I have no issues about the club, the direction that we're going in. Like you said before, people might have a few differing ideas, but we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
In the wider vision of growing the club and keeping it sustainable and getting more courses and on whatever else. There's always a benefit to the club. Do I feel like I could walk away? Probably not. Only being on the board for 2 years and only being in 2 different roles.
Sure.
I feel like I've still got a little bit more I can give.
I love that.
And still more I can, I don't intend to walk away anytime soon.
That's awesome.
If you could put up that question
Absolutely.
from Kristen, I think this is a really great question. Yeah. So Kristen asks, did Wally feel good or relief or anything else when you first handed it over to me?
Definitely relief.
Washed his hands of it. He was like, I'm done.
No.
Somebody else's headache now.
But I had done it for so long.
Yes, yeah.
I felt that we needed fresh ideas, because in my mind, I just felt like we're just doing the same thing. And like I said, we needed fresh ideas to go a different way, right? So, and obviously the great choice was made, and like I said, what you did, man, when during the COVID burst, it was huge. It was huge, and the fact that you managed to succeed,
thank you.
It was amazing. So,
and I just I think the mark of you was the mark that I was able to make, and the mark that I was able to make is reflected now in the current council. Like I said this kind of off the top, like we're able to stand on each other's shoulders, and I know it just sounds like we're in a big circle patting each other on the back, but it's so true. And it's to anyone out there that's either listening in Edmonton or otherwise, these are. Your club wants you. Your club needs you, and if you feel any bit inspired by hearing like how much gratitude there is filled in this room tonight, or how glowing we speak of the work we've done. Yes, we speak a lot about relief, and yes, we speak a lot about like, wow, it's a heavy admin load. But if you sense any sort of like, wow, that's really inspiring, go contact your club, be involved. You can be involved as much as you want.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the president. You don't need to be you can do your small part. That volunteership is just so critical.
I was just going to mention that because Jeremy kind of mentioned that last week. We were talking and he said, when it comes to boards and things like that, he doesn't need to be on, even at his work. He's like, I don't need to be on a board to decide whether we're having hot dogs or burgers. Like someone else can make those decisions, but you need someone to come there and hand out paper plates and, show you where the washrooms are. I'll be that guy.
Sure.
So even if you don't want to commit to being on the board, even though, the position may not be available that you want to do, every board always needs volunteers, and you can show your support and be involved in other ways as well.
I'm going to pivot for a quick second because I just thought of something I kind of want to bring up, and then I think we'll probably start.
I just want to quickly touch on this because we mentioned about Wally handing over the keys to Tim. She said, Kristen said, Wally gave Tim the keys. And then she also
added many sets of keys. That's a very true statement.
And then she followed it up by saying that Gatsky kept changing the basket for 2 more years.
The baskets mysteriously moved for a little while in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I just thought that was
nice. But see, that's part of the volunteering, right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, like I said, we cannot do what we have done for the last 25 years without people volunteering their time and effort. sweat and tears, man. Like it's been, you can't do it without a team, and I mean, like, I don't like taking credit for things that I know that I couldn't have done without a team,
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to touch on one thing, and then I would love, I'm sorry if I'm monopolizing things. I
Go
apologize.
for it.
I want to touch on one quick thing for us, but then I want to absolutely tackle Sonia's question because
sure.
that is an amazing question.
Yeah.
I feel very passionately about that. So my first kind of subset is this. When I got into the role, I feel like I'm a reasonably confident person. I was making decisions. I was like, no, we're not doing that. Yes, we're doing that. No, we're not doing that. Yes, we're doing that. And like, of course, not all those decisions were correct, but I felt pretty confident that I made a lot of the good decisions most of the time. And when I look back, I'm like, God, I'm so grateful to myself that I was able to make decisions as opposed to having decision paralysis.
For sure.
So I kind of want to hear from both of you guys, being past and present, council members, president, vice president. Like, how did you guys feel your decision? Like, how did you go about making big decisions, making sweeping decisions? Like, what was your process for making big decisions? Maybe Wally, back in the day, like how did you guys go about making those big decisions? Like, how did you decide Rundle was the place to go and make that upgrade, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we asked our team first, right, and brought up whatever decisions needed to be made.
Yeah,
and we would ask, our members what their thoughts were, right? What would you like to see? What would you like not to see? So opinions definitely matter to us, right? As far as what people wanted to see, and that's how we based the decisions, But I mean, it was always, at the end of the day, was to try to get more courses,
right?
Obviously finalize like Rundle Park in 2009 to be able to have an 18-hole course,
right?
And then when the next opportunity came with Northwestern in 2017, I think it was 2018, maybe.
Yeah, 2018.
And that was thanks to Chris Emberley, who found that park and brought it up. And it's like, hey, you know what? I found this park. Let's go check it out. So I'm like, okay. And I mean, we fell in love with it. He did a nice little design for what we had. And I mean, I even ran a night owl at that course, So,
Wow.
That was part of like the night owl, right? Whenever I see a new course, go and run a tournament there to try to get more people involved,
So a lot of your decision was like very opinion, kind of like collective group.
Man.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. What do you think? Should we do this? And I mean, most of the time it was like, yeah, let's go for it, 100%, right? So
great, I love that.
And then Hermitage, like I said, that took a lot of labor and love, But when it happened, oh my goodness, man, like that was my dream.
Yeah.
To be able to put another 18-hole course in Edmonton. And when that happened, it was just like,
what a course. And so for yourself, how about the decision making process? Like, obviously you have a council and you're vice on this council, but how do you feel you guys go about making your decisions right now?
I think we're a good democracy. I don't think any one person, I know maybe Brock is, obviously being the president, and he has the final say, and he'll definitely make his point that this is the way that we're going, but definitely we all have a vote on it and a say. And the good thing about us is that we all seem to be going in the same direction anyway. So we've never disagreed on, no, this shouldn't be, this should be happening. From what I've seen, the big decisions that we've had to make are ideas that were probably started in your generation, in your term.
Yes,
because the Northwestern upgrades, the Hermitage, which finally getting complete. The Sunridge ski hill course that we could talk about, but I know Joey was involved in that, and
yes, big time. Yeah,
it's things like the things that have been happening. I mean, the number one priority I think on the board is always trying to get a Southside course.
Yes. My goodness.
I think everyone has been trying to get that. It's just that we've been working with the city. We may have a potential location for a 9. I'm
listening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. But yeah,
cool.
getting more courses is, we can promote it. We can run clubs. We have the club. We can run leagues. We can put on tournaments.
Yep.
But if we can get more courses in the ground, promoting more people to play that don't have to travel so far.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, the other thing, as we all know, getting more courses will alleviate the congestion on Hermitage and Rundle,
absolutely.
which in turn will hopefully fix some of the course issues that we have,
Yep.
some of the grass, the grass in the fairways
Yeah.
and things
Yep.
like that. So,
it all works together.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
all works together.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Awesome. I appreciate you guys answering that. I really want to jump to this question from Sonia if we can.
sure.
I think it's a fantastic question. So
I'll ask it and then you can answer.
all right.
Okay, and you can chime in as well, Wally.
Sounds good.
So to all three of us, how do you feel the amount of women and girls joining the sport? How do we promote that more?
So I will, if I may,
Go
and then
ahead.
I'll throw to you guys. I have been exposed to women in sport so much more since I've been with Kristen than I've ever could imagine. And really what it comes down to is just space. So we need to make space for women in sport, whether it's opening up more tournament divisions and earlier and just breaking down those barriers, whether it's creating more opportunities for clinics, league nights, or potentially even like seeking out people for council positions, whatever it may be. It's really about creating the space. If you look at the tournament that Kristen runs every year, she's up first, the biggest women's disc golf tournament in Canadian history this year. That was evolved from 27 women 5 years ago. 27, and it's grown every year.
Yeah,
and it's just because she has created the space. Now, she does a lot. She's got the special sauce of making it a very special event. But I think the women's girls side of the game is the number one area of growth for our game. And I think from a professional standpoint, we're about to see a big boom. Because right now, it is a very male-dominated sport. Which is, very traditional for a lot of sports. And we've seen that MPO boom on the pro side. So your young guys like your Anthony Barellas, your Gannon Burrs, like that kind of group has really come along. And I think we're starting to see kind of the second wave of the next women kind of following the Kristen Lott kind of thing. So the Addison Woodards, the Rebecca Dawns, and that sort of thing. And I think that will make it an impact from a viewership standpoint. And I think that will make if young girls and women can see professionals playing it and growing and seeing it's something they can do, they're going to play it. And I think it's really, I'll circle around, I'll put a bow on this and I'll tie it off.
Sure.
But I think it's really important that the clubs intentionally make space, intentionally create opportunities, intentionally invite, intentionally make safe spaces for women to play. That would be number one. I think it's an easy argument to say, well, they can sign up for any tournament and there's women's divisions they can play, but it's about the safety of the space. And that is where things like She's Up First or Women's League have really made inroads, is in safe spaces. So that's all I got to say. And that's from my vantage point. And go ahead.
I just want to touch on Kristen's comment because it kind of ties into what you're talking about space. She says, if you're a husband, father, remembering to share the domestic load so your wife has time to do the things, that's space.
Yes,
So giving them
absolutely.
the time to go out and play it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In our world, women are still like primary caretakers, like more often than not.
Right.
So it's very important that the partner in that relationship is not allowing, but providing time, energy, space, opportunity. Absolutely. And I will say, to kind of throw it back to Wally a little bit, we are very fortunate. We've had some extraordinarily strong women in our community. Like I think about Ali Bundes to start with. Like I remember when I met her, I was like, whoa, this is a strong woman.
No, and I mean, we've had, it hasn't been a lot, but the women that we've had in the past, they've been very strong, like good players, like very competitive, know. But I think at least in my years, I certainly lacked the ability to be able to grow that segment more, for the club. And, it's not necessarily to grow, but I think it's support to the women who are currently playing so that they can reach out to more women. Because, like I said, a lot of men tend to have the opinions of, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
Yeah.
But you don't play the same style, the same way, right? So to teach somebody that they can't do what that person can do, right? It makes it really difficult for them to understand and to have fun.
Yes.
Right, while doing it, right?
To have fun, yes.
So, exactly. So I think we need to provide the tools to women to be able to attract more women to the
Yeah.
sport, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Yeah.
so that's what, and like you said, right, provide that space, right, for them
That's
to
right.
do it, and initialize more events that involve more women,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'll say from the current board's point of view, we can always do more. I like the fact that we do have our women's league.
Yep.
And I know it's growing this year. I know
Yeah.
Sonia's in the chat. She participates in women's league. Excuse me. You mentioned earlier about PDGA and PDG Canada and being a member.
Yes.
Signing up for PDGA in Canada gives funds to PDGA Canada, which then in turn lets our board and other boards and people like that, when they support us, to be able to put on our women's clinics that we run through the winter, where we take over Footfield, and we have great coaches like Kristen, like Terry, getting women out there, giving them that safe space to be able to teach and learn from other FPOs or other female players, as opposed to going to a clinic to learn from, someone like yourself who can bomb it and ace with a Firebird. The other thing that I was going to mention, was the kids clinic that I just ran with Terry. Terry came out and helped me run a kids clinic, and we had, throw in some discs and all that, and seeing who could throw the farthest and all that. And there was this one girl that threw the farthest, and then everybody was kind of sitting around, milling around, and she just was like, can I throw some more? We were like, for sure, get up there, go throw.
Yeah.
And she was throwing disc after disc after disc, and then she was like, oh, that one went further. And you could see how much enjoyment she got out of it. And and Terry was like, okay, you two, it was a boy and a girl. You guys were the longest drive. Now we're going to have a battle to see who's going to win. And the girl ended up winning. Terry took a disc out of her bag and said, my number's on the inside of this disc. Speak to your parents. If you're okay with it, call this number and I'll give you a free lesson.
Great.
So just
Cool.
things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned about getting women involved in sport and young girls. My passion, I guess, if you want to call it, like one thing that I've been speaking to Brock on the board is getting more juniors.
Right.
And, whether that be girls or boys, just getting young people into the sport, because I feel like, as you old timers drop out and can't throw, don't participate in these things anymore. We need to get, yeah. How old are you?
I could play MA40 if I wanted.
I can play MA50, so I'm with you, Wally.
Yay!
Just growing the sport and getting the new people involved in, and whether that be a safe space for women, girls, all the more.
And we threw out the little shout out to Andrew Michaud earlier, but another shout out that we should give and supported with the support of PDGA Canada, the Volunteer of the Year this year, Carrie Neal.
Absolutely.
Like, what a tremendous person, so deserving of that honor. Like, to have that caliber of community builder in BC is just unbelievable. Carrie's just everything.
Yeah. There's a reason why Jeremy calls her the legend.
She is.
Yeah.
Like, she is.
Yep.
Wally of the West, if you will.
She is.
There you go. Well, Wally, you know what? We've had so much fun talking to you. I'm sure we could talk to you for another couple of hours.
Yeah, easily.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I
So much
appreciate it,
history.
guys. Yeah, I always enjoy, just talking
sure.
about the game, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to give a quick shout out because we went on that disc tour. This is one of the discs that I got from Hidden Gem. It was either Hidden Gem or Wally's 100. I forget which one it was, but I know it was up at Athabasca.
I think it was. I think that was 100. Yeah.
Was it 100?
Yeah. I
buttons are
think
frozen
so.
up.
Yeah.
This was an 09 EDGA disc, and it doesn't. It's one of those ones that
So cool.
it doesn't have a name on it. It doesn't have a brand or anything like that. I think we come to the conclusion that it was a Gateway Wizard.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yes.
just
That's
get that.
exactly what it was. Yeah. That was
There
the
you
first
go.
time that we got. That's just so cool to
So
see.
there you
That.
go.
That is so cool.
That's one of my memorabilia that I have, and
It's wonderful.
yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we really appreciate having you on the
Yes.
podcast.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you for taking the
Well,
time.
I
again.
thank you guys. Yes. No. And anytime, man. I really appreciate it. So.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, this is the part of the show that we give you a chance to promote or to shout out or thank anybody that you want to thank. So the floor is yours.
Well, recently our good friend Travis
Yes.
Dugas Belrose. So a shout out to him.
Yes, absolutely. infectious
Yep.
personality. We're gonna miss him.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Wally. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we won't leave it 2 years until we talk to you again next time.
No doubt. I can't believe it's been 2 years. Yeah.
I know.
Don't be a
It's amazing.
stranger.
For sure. All right. Thank you very much.
Well, I
All
love you,
right.
brother. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Okay.
Take care. Love you guys. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, I
Hey.
could talk to Wally forever and ever and ever and ever.
Such a great guy.
Oh, he's just, and he's so authentic. That's what I like. I just, you're just talking to Wally,
Yeah.
and it's just, I just don't have enough good things to say.
Yeah, I know. And it for someone with that much passion and that drive and that authenticity, taking on the board way back when,
Yeah.
imagine what he could be doing now if he was like just coming fresh onto the board and
100%.
seeing where we are,
100%.
where we could be, from there on. So,
Yes, absolutely.
and thank you to you as well. Thank
Hey.
you for stepping up to join the podcast. Thank you for everything you've done as a board member.
Thank you. Yeah, hey, I'm happy to do it. I'm so much better than Jeremy at this. I don't know if he'll hear me say.
Yeah, he's not in the chat. So
Yeah, okay.
he doesn't care that much.
yeah. Well, it's not even in the chat. What
Yeah,
a guy.
exactly.
No, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. Obviously, I'm like Wally. I resonate so much. Just love to talk the game. You guys do such an incredible job here. Like, it's just, I gush about how great the production and the content is, and it's truly, I'm the one who's grateful to you guys for being able to sit in this chair every now and then.
For sure, absolutely. Now, you mentioned it 4 years on the board.
Yes.
All the time as a president.
Yes.
You left.
Yes.
You wanted to play more disc golf.
Yes.
Now you've played a lot more disc golf.
Yes.
Is there any part of you that's like, well, maybe when the next position opens up, maybe I'll just be a member at large? Do you have any feeling to come back onto the board? And if you were to come back, is it president or nothing?
Sure. Great question. I do have the itch to do some organizing. I am hosting another event at the end of September
Yes.
called Rundle's Revenge, which it's been stewing in my brain for years, and it's going to be such a painful experience. I love it. I've got a couple other irons in the fire on some other things.
Okay.
Has the thought crossed my mind to join the board again? Yes, probably not as president, because I feel like I gave as much as I could in that role.
Yeah.
I probably am not imminently going to do anything in the next year or
Sure.
two, but I think definitely in the next 5 years, I probably would love to come back and just offer whatever I can
For sure.
in a smaller role, just to be, again, just to support the community the way the community supported me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Brog, I've mentioned to him before, I've talked to him about, you miss not playing tournaments, the fact that you run all these tournaments.
Yeah.
And I've kind of made a switch now as well this year. He has said that he gets just as much enjoyment, if not more enjoyment, out of running in a tournament
Right.
than playing in a tournament. And
Right.
I kind of feel like that way as well. Co-TD in some tournaments, assisting, whatever it might be, spotting on a hole,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, I don't miss not playing in a tournament at the moment.
Right,
I'm not
right
gonna
now,
say
right
that-
now,
yeah,
today.
Right now, I don't miss that. But so yeah, you're always welcome back. Obviously, you know that. I think
Yeah.
is there some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Is there some like a card that you get and it automatically allows you back in, or
Like
do you get some privileges being ex-president?
Probably not. Probably just groans of people
there you
from. Yeah. No, there's no punch card or nothing. No, unfortunately. Yeah.
Right. Well, Wally, 100 tournaments. He tapped out at not tapped out, but he bowed out at 100.
You know,
Is there
he
many
says that, but honestly, I've seen his name attached to like 20 other tournaments. So I think he's holding that title. But anyway,
Why did Kristen have to bring it up?
she likes to hash old hurtful wounds.
Yeah. Okay, we have a people are asking in the chat.
Oh, I'm not in. I'm out.
Is Tim drapping?
No, Tim is not drapping.
Please let there be a rap.
There can be a rap.
Dad Rap 2.0. The people want it.
Not from me, they don't. Not from me, they don't. Hey, you can go ahead.
Jeremy made one. I mean, I have to do it. But before we let you go, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please.
Like and comment. I know people say this on all the videos, but it really does help. It pushes it forward in the algorithm.
Yep.
If you're listening to this on audio platform, don't forget you can also rate our podcast and leave a review on Apple and Spotify as well. It'll help get the podcast in front of more eyes. Also, as we mentioned earlier, right after this, we're going to be starting Around the Basket. Are you sticking around for that as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we have some different takes over there, a bit more relaxed, even though it's been pretty free flowing on there.
Pretty chill.
Yeah, but we get involved with the chat, answer more questions over there. Sign up for free, get the link. You can follow us over there. Okay. Well, Jeremy did it. I'm one of those. I'm always in the situation where I'm like, oh, people don't want to hear me do it. People don't want to hear me do it. But now I feel like I've got to do it, because if we don't do it,
you're gonna let the fans down. I'm not. The expectation is not for me. I'm sorry. So.
All right.
But I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna take my beverage,
now
and
now you can see what happens behind the scenes, right? Okay, here we go then. I guess I've got to do it for all that wanted it. You're gonna get a solo dad rap.
I love it. I'm here for it as a viewer.
It is coming, honestly. See, this is why we need to do Patreon and a GoFundMe to get a new computer, so that things are
right.
not so slow.
So, here we are.
It's coming. Wally Ovalle, an Alberta staple, standing strong like a Canadian maple. As EDGA president, he built a foundation. Now he throws for elevation. It's a tongue twister when you have to do all the lyrics.
Directed tournaments 100 under his belt. Disc golf supporter so hard out.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, everyone.